So hello and welcome to Film Mixologist, the place on the internet thingy where we save the best to last. So this is the kind of last carb that I'm going to be doing as a regular programming on our Film Mixologist. And after I say that I save the best to last because kind of this is if I'm looking at my career of working with these things. I've been working with carburetors for 16 years now at the time of recording this. And if somebody would ask me, okay, what is your favorite kind of carburetor out of all of the ones you've worked with, it will have to be this, the Weber DCNF. This is by far and away kind of my favorite carb that I've worked with so far, and therefore I think it's fitting that I kind of finish the kind of regular programming of the channel with my favorite one, and this, I think this is a typical example of a unit that you kind of get off the internet in order to do a refurbishment. So I'm going to bring you along and I'm going to show you kind of what's the condition of the unit so far. I've already seen kind of one or two issues, but I'm sure I'm confident that I can get it to live again. Okay, so one thing that I can see straight away is that this idle mixture screw is a bit bent, which can happen. So we can replace that. That's not necessarily a problem. The unit is it's a bit, it's got a bit of patina, but that's okay. I can certainly work with this. There is one issue here, that one of the things that I'm going to be working on is this shaft here, because if you look at this, even though it moves, and that's a good thing, we have got kind of a couple of issues here that this bolts really they protrude out quite a lot from the shaft, and you also got this thing at the bottom of the shaft. So I think if I can try and sort that out a bit more, and it will make the carb much more efficient than it would be like this. However, this carb has a lot of redeeming qualities in that it is complete. It has the trumpets. The trumpets are in good condition. That is brilliant because these things are not exactly around the corner and not exactly cheap. There's a little bit of a indentation here, but I think we can very delicately hammer this back into place so it becomes straight. So I think this will be a good project to end the regular programming of the channel. So now what we need to do is we need to start the disassembly process, and also very importantly, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to kind of go through all my spares and see, what spares do I have, what spares do I don't have, what do I need to buy, what do I need to not buy, and all of that stuff. But first off, let's try and see that everything inside here is complete and correct. Okay, let's see if we can get this unit disassembled. Look how bent this was. Okay, so now I'm going to take the top off. Okay, so this is in relatively good nick. And this is also quite clean. Okay, so now to take the idle bypass off, what you need to do is first go through with the nut and try to see if you can kind of get the initial bit of the screw off with the nut, taking it to the end of the nut as much as you can. There you go. So I think, yeah, so this is working, you see, because it's always better not try to do it with a screwdriver at the beginning, because you might damage the idle bypass, the screw, because sometimes it's in there very tight. I always put the screws back on here because they're kind of quite easy to lose. Okay, so I've done the throttles now, the throttle plate for the DCNF, and I'm gonna show you now kind of a bit closer, and I'm gonna talk you through the kind of the order of integration in which you need to do it, because I have always kind of regarded the setting of the throttles probably as if you're doing a full rebuild, this is like the crucial build bit of the rebuild after you cleaned all the stuff, because obviously this is what is gonna kind of make or break your build. So let's see if we can bring you a bit closer. Okay, so as you can see, as I told you before, we've done kind of much lower profile kind of screws there and there, so now we're gonna get kind of a lot more flow. We should get a little bit more flow, not a lot more flow, a bit more flow down these two holes. And the order of integration is as follows. So first you put the shaft, then you set the throttles with the screws, and then only then you're ready to put the bearings. And as you can see here, I use sealed bearings. I think those are kind of modern day bearings. They are like really the only ones to use, and you see it has a nice ring to it. Obviously I haven't put the return spring or all the other bits, but we're looking good. And the other thing is that you need to check that they cover the holes like that. Both are the same, and that's how you know that the shaft's good and the throttle plates are good. Also, it's nice to have them a little bit shiny, because it's not that it's gonna make it run better, but obviously somebody's gonna have to pay for this carb, so it's better if it looks good. And as you can see, obviously the fuel bowl is absolutely clean and everything else is clean. So now I'm ready to start the build out process for this unit. Okay, in this segment I need to show you a couple of things before I start putting all the parts in the carb. And one is the kind of float level setting, which I don't know if I've shown this before in DCNFs or not, but basically what you need to do is you need to put the float kind of like so, so that you can see that it has like a spring. So the spring doesn't have to be compressed, it needs to be free. Yeah, when the spring is free, then what you do is you measure 48 mil from the gasket and to the top of the float, which in this case we're there, so we're golden on this. And then if you go to 58 mil, which we got there, that's the full drop height, and that's how you determine the height of the float. Other bits and bobs that we're going to change, as you can probably see here, the idle mixture screw was knackered, so we're gonna put two brand new ones. And the idle bypass screw was also a little bit goofy, so I'm gonna put two new ones that I've got in stock. I've obviously got kind of new gaskets here, new diaphragm there, and new gasket here. So I am ready to start kind of the assembly process. One tip for assembling the carb is that as you can see, I've put the cam here, and you always need to install this before you put your accelerator pump, because if you try and put the accelerator pump before the cam, it's going to be very difficult to put the cam because it's going to interfere. Yep, so a little bit of kind of lived experience there, but other than that you should be fine. So now what I need to do is start just quickly building all these bits and bobs, and in order to get a complete unit. And then I need to show you kind of one more thing at the end, what I'm going to do for the top of the carb. Okay, so we've got the unit buttoned up here. This is like mint, ready to go. I'll show you a bit closer let's say the final condition of the unit. A fair few, you know, shiny bits where we did this. Look at the throttle return action. It's pretty decent. That's good. And what I added was the DCNF specific trumpets, which I'm gonna make a commentary in a minute. But other than that, this unit now I believe is very much ready to go, mint, ready to be installed in a car. Now, in terms of trumpets, there are like several models. So one is like cut, flush, and the other one, which is the one we're using on this unit, has this kind of this protrusion kind of here. So those are essentially the two models that you can have. I cannot stress enough how important it is to run trumpets on DCNFs, because I believe that the reason why it is important is because the carb, let's say the bores of the carb, are so close together in this carb that you need something to order the airflow into the carb. So Weber DCNFs are very sensitive when you don't use this, and you might be losing a lot of performance if you don't. So always use this specific DCNF trumpets. And also, apparently I've heard, I mean I can't confirm exactly, but I've heard that the original Weber design for the trumpets of this is the best. So you can't get any other, you know, aftermarket type trumpet that functions better than this one, apparently. So I just leave that kind of thought with you. Okay, so now that this kind of project is finished, I think it's time. Generally speaking, I say thank you very much for your questions, which you can still kind of put your questions. But unfortunately, I won't be seeing you in the next episode, kind of next week, because this is the last episode of Fairfield Mixologist, the kind of regular programming. I am kind of closing down the shop. I'm not gonna be kind of doing this anymore, or at least not for now. But I really want to thank kind of all of you that have been kind of watching the channel, especially if you've been watching the channel for a long time. It really kind of appreciate it. I had a great opportunity to connect with a lot of people kind of over the years, and that was nice. But now I'm at a different stage of life, and I think I need the time. I'm investing in all of this to do something else. So I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.